Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? And I hope you guys had a great day today. This is the day that we've been waiting for a couple of weeks now. Waiting for that hard pullback day where we can get some really deep, good shorts. And it's funny, I didn't get I didn't get the deep, the deep shorts. My best trade today was a long. We'll look at all that here in a minute, but it's crazy. It's like we've been waiting for this day. We've been prepared for this day, but unfortunately, I didn't trade it very well, and it is what it is. But before we get deeper into this, I want to share this quote with you, this Babe Ruth quote, and it says, "Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game." And a lot of us, when we told our significant others and our friends and whatnot what we're planning on doing, I know a lot of them were like, "You're gonna lose your money. It's a scam. The market's rigged, everything." And so even though you came in and you gave it a try, I think a lot of us brought that doubt, and it's kind of rooted in the back of our minds and it stays there. And I think that's what plays on us. It creates that fear, that fear of losing, that fear of being wrong. And, when we are scared that we're going to strike out, that we're going to lose, and as traders, we're going to lose a lot. That's just inherent in what we do. But we have to understand that that's part of the game. Swinging and missing is part of the game. You're going to get hits. You're going to go through rough patches. You're going to go through cold streaks. And but if you stay true to the game, and if you tighten up things when you need to tighten up, because a lot of times we get loose and we don't really follow our rules and we take a little bit more chances, causes us to start to go backwards. But we cannot allow that fear of losing, the fear of missing out, to stay rooted in the back of our minds, because um, it can cause us a lot of pain. So we don't want to do that. We have to get that out. And even if it's subconscious, a lot of us, we can't figure out why we're making the same mistakes or why we can't get out of the rut that we're in. It's because subconsciously we're scared to lose. We're scared to be wrong. And it can cause us to not take trades, and it causes us to mess up and take trades that we shouldn't, and we can't figure out what it is, and that's what it is. So that's what I try to help you guys through. That's what this roadmap to success is for. That's why I have it laid out the way it is, because you have to get that out. You have to become confident and understand that, getting these strikes or missing these trades or losing on these trades is all part of the game. Because we can't control the, what happens once we're in the trade. We can't control the market, but we can control how we react to the market. And that's another big focus that we've got to have. So I had a couple people ask, I mentioned that it was like $41.50 a month, and all that is the 249, and you divide it by 6. That's where the 41.50 comes. There's nowhere you can sign up to pay 41.50 a month. It's just a straight 249, and it comes out to 49.50 a month. And for all of that, you get the classes, you get the mentoring, everything. So that's that deal. All right, let's get into the market. This is the interesting part here. As we see today, we lost five. How much did we lose in this spot? 5%? I can't remember. Um, No, about 3.5% we lost in the SPY today. And all it did was it pulled back to support. Look at this. Pull back to the 20. Pull back to the 20. Here we didn't really get to the 20. Here we pull back. You know, this is rising support right here. And once we hit it, we got bought up off of it. Now, after the market closed, it rallied into the close. Now we are back down around 343.50, about $1 off the lows. So I wouldn't be surprised if we open gap down around the 340 area. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Um, and if you look across the board, all those tech stocks are dumping. And just the charts that I have up, CRWD is down to 121.60. Apple down to 117.23. FSLY down to 77.50. Roku 160.27. And all of these, they're about 3 or 4 points off where they closed. And so, you know, what is that telling us? What's that telling us about tomorrow? You know, we can't, all we can do is go by what the technicals are telling us. If we look at this daily chart, you look at where we bounced off the 20 here, you know, you would think, hey, we're just bouncing off support. Tomorrow we're going to get hooked up and move back up. But tomorrow is the day before a long weekend. I think a lot of people left today around midday and they're on vacation. I know the Bulls are gone. They made a ton of money over the last couple of months. But I would expect a long weekend. I would expect the volume to be down tomorrow. We're not really going to get a good read on what's going to happen coming into Tuesday. We may get another sell-off day. The Bears may still be there, you know, saying we can't afford to go on vacation. You know, we've got to take this money while we can and sell it down some more. You know, that's what I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But I also wouldn't be surprised if these guys come in and gap it up early in the morning and kind of scare some people out before it starts to come down again. The key thing is we just have to be prepared either way. We need to have a plan both ways. That's why I always say you got to have a plan both ways. You know, not just one direction. You never know what's going to happen. We can't predict with any degree of certainty what's going to happen in the market. But today, and what really messed me up today, my first trade was a long. You'll see that in a minute. So as the market was selling, I was long. And by the time I got ready to short, number one, I got faked out, and then this lull put me to sleep. And I was pretty much done. So it just kind of, you know, wrapped my day up for me. Now, going into the close, we started to sell off a bit. We finally broke the low here, but then it recovered going into the close. The last 30 minutes and then the first 30 minutes of the close or aftermarket session, we were recovering. But again, we've since come all the way back, you know, about a point off the lows on the SPY. So we really can't say. Really can't say. Just have to be patient and trade what the market gives us. Now, here's my morning trade here. At the open, BYND was an analyst upgrade. And again, I'm using Roku since it was the one of the most recent runners on a analyst upgrade. I was using it to kind of explain to people what I'm looking for to happen. I wanted to buy this on the break of the pre-market high, But again, this moved so fast, I couldn't get it to where it would make sense. And it just kind of ran out of my life. So I had to wait for the second entry, which is the opening range breakout. So yeah, I gave up a couple of points of profit. It sucks, but that's not the end of the day. That's not the end of the game. You take what the market's going to give you. And if you miss the first move, there's always a second entry for the most part. So we got it here, opening range breakout. I hit a couple of profit targets, almost hit 142.50. Just did not get back to this. And you see from there it started selling off, ended up closing it out. Um, Probably could have flipped this short. Probably really could have flipped this short, but I didn't. I just kind of stayed pat. Everything was kind of in no man's land. So I moved over to, I'm like, so we're shorting, what's one of these tech stocks that I could really short with the market? I looked at Roku and didn't really like the price action. So I said, hey, Apple has been doing pretty good. So let's move to Apple. And so I waited right here until we broke the channel here. And I was even um, being a little conservative here. And I should have bought on the break, but I was a little conservative. I got the conservative entry, hit my first target. This thing was clicking along pretty nice, and then it quickly reversed, stopped me out at break even. Now, had I taken the aggressive entry, guess what? I would have made money on this. I wouldn't have been stopped out here. I would have been able to catch the next leg down. But since I got stopped out, I waited, caught the next channel break, and got my first target. And again, didn't quite get to the second target. 120.50 was my second target. It didn't quite get there, and it just kind of ran back up on me. Had to stop out at break even. So two base hits on Apple. That really supplemented that BYND trade. And if I calculated it correctly, I was over a grand in profits. Might have been in the $1,100 range. I calculated it, but I can't remember it now. But was really nice. So I waited through lunch. Now waited for this thing. It rejected up here at the top of this channel. You can see once these stocks put in these channels, they tend to respect it. And this is why I use these every day, and why they work so well for the secondary trades, the trend continuation. Those of you guys that like the slower, more meticulous trades, that's a little bit safer, that's what these are. And so I got in on this channel break, but we found support, and you can see we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 25 minutes, and then we started to grind our way back up. Smart money, take it off. All right, take it off. But for some reason, I second guessed myself and said, why did you, it's gonna go lower. So I went and shorted it like a dummy here, and it turned around on me, and I ended up stopping out. So this is what took the a chunk of the money that I made. All of the work that I did, it did take a little bit of it back. So at that point, that's when I got irritated and shut it down. When you get irritated and things don't work, and I sat there and waited a while for the market. I waited and waited and waited. Um, so it just lulled me to sleep. To where I said, forget this, I'm gonna watch. I put on an old football game, um, and just started watching it, and just took my mind off of the market. And we did get a move down. I think there was some opportunity maybe to get a couple of bucks back. I might have got back the money that I had lost. There was a trade that set up in between this channel and it actually made a new low. But hey, it is what it is. You can't get all of them. You can't get mad and then come in and try to get revenge. My day is done and we locked in 711.96. So we've got a pretty decent week going. I mean, we have a pretty decent week. So I have no complaints. It is what it is. And so we're gonna come back tomorrow, see if we can have another strong day. If we get a big selling day again, maybe we can find some stocks that are washing out, that has some clean areas to trade, and kind of go from there. But hey, I'm happy. I'm ready to, for the long weekend. Again, we can't travel like we want to, but just having that extra break. We are going to have our session Sunday morning. We're going to do our swing session, have our watch list built, and we'll just have that extra day to keep our minds refreshed and get ready to tackle the market on Tuesday. So you guys have a great night, a great evening. I will catch up with you in the morning.